Indy or Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And this is a review of the Book of Boba Fett, episodes 1 and 2. I was not going to do a review of this season, this series, based on the strength of the first episode. I'm like, not very good. It really wasn't. It was mediocre at best. Then I saw the second episode, and I enjoyed that a lot more because in my head I kind of detached it from Star Wars, and I think of its own merits, that second episode was quite good. And so on that, I think it's worth talking about. If you're somebody who wants to boycott Star Wars, boycott Disney after Gina Carano, you're not missing anything at all, right? Anything at all. If you want to know what's going on, stick on this to watch this video. I'll tell you what's going on. It's not awful. It's not like Star Trek Discovery or Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker, Doctor Who. It's not awful. It's not awful at all. It was just meh. Again, second episode, I enjoyed. Second episode, I can say I enjoyed. But again, not as Star Wars. Fine, before we get into the review, not interview, the review. Before we get into the review, can you hit the like button, share button, and subscribe button. If you're on Rumble, hit the Rumble button as well. If you're on YouTube and you're subscribed and you, can you make sure you're still subscribed? YouTube, not my biggest fans, okay? But thank you for the platform, not my biggest fans. Listen, I would love there to be a world where Google somehow collapses and then everybody runs to Getter and Rumble, which I'm on now. So, that would just be great for me, right? I'm not holding my breath for that happening. But again, I've transferred everything over to Rumble as well. So, check it out there. Also, definitely check out my Substack. My Substack is a email newsletter. The link is in the video notes. You get updates to all my videos, but I throw in a lot of extra stuff. On Sundays, we do Sunday comics. We're running this thing called the Ice Warriors. These are one-page strips. I wrote them because I write and draw comics, but the artwork's done by the incredible Stefano Cardacelli. I did the coloring on it. I did it on Friday, and I'm quite happy with it. I have to tell you, I'm quite happy with this one. As I said, these one-page strips, and I like one-page strips because you get like a beginning, middle, and end. You got to tell something, and you got to grab an audience one page. So I do enjoy those one-page strips. Plus, there's a very big tradition in Doctor Who of doing one-page strips. The Dalek strips in the 60s and the Sidemen strips in the 90s. So go sign up, go check it out. If you want to sign up to the paid edition, I put out I put a ton more stuff on my site. I put all my video announcements, and I'm doing a novel I'm going to put out on that. But on my paid one, you get that's where you get the great stuff. You get at least 50 pages of I would say first-rate comics every month for $5. So thank you very much. If you choose to patronize me, and if I can convince you to choose that'd be great. That's how I'm trying to monetize the channel, because YouTube, as I may have mentioned, not my biggest fans, have demonetized me. So if you would consider signing up a paid subscription, that'd be great. That'd be listen. If anybody's backed me on my Indiegogo, you will know that I will give you the absolutely best possible. The more people we have signing up, the more great content I can put out there for you, which is really what I would like to do. And make a buck as well. Let's be clear. I would like to make a buck as well. Fine. But again, sign up for the free. The free one's great. Honestly, the free one's awesome. So like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack, whatever else. Be nice to each other. Okay, that's also a good thing. Fine. Let's talk about the Book of Boba Fett. Before we get into the specifics of the plot, I'm going to be reading the synopsis of Wikipedia. Let's talk about the vibe, the feel of it, because it doesn't have the same feel as The Mandalorian, which felt very very authentic, right? Felt like very authentic Star Wars. Maybe it's because it was standing by the prequel trilogies, which felt very inauthentic. Still, that first one, I so enjoyed it. I was so excited for the second one. It's out. Way things go, but it doesn't have that same vibe. It has more of a, imagine The Mandalorian with the Disney Star Wars gleam put over it. I think this is the merger of Kathleen Kennedy and the Jon Favreau Star Wars into this new animal, which I'm not really. Again, if you like Star Wars, it's not really that good. It feels more like It feels more like the cross between Mandalorian, Caravan of Courage, so it comes out kind of like the prequel trilogy, right? sort of kind of like it. And it, again, doesn't have that authentic feel that the original Mandalorian had. And it was the thing I loved about the original Mandalorian is how they moved it forward 5 years from Jedi, and you felt that you're in that same universe. You don't get that feeling now. Everything's a lot cleaner, a lot spicker, a lot more Disney, right? It's a lot more Disney. So there's that. On the strength of that, I wasn't even gonna cover it. That was the second episode, and I thought it was pretty darn good. Let's have a look at the Wikipedia about it. Here we go. Let me move this over here a bit. There you go. So it's starring Temuera Morrison as Boba Fett. So here's I think the biggest problem with this show as it connects to the wider Star Wars. Boba Fett is super cool. Boba Fett was always, from the first second you saw him, he was super cool. And I think that's got to do with a lot to do with Jeremy Bullock's body language. Although I found out that wasn't him a lot of the time. It was a stunt double. But yeah, I do think it's got a lot to do with that body language. Also, I think the lighter undersuit helped. And also not being kind of a pudgy old guy. that also is just not that cool, right? He's just not that cool. There's a bit in the first episode where he's like swinging a giant laser club and he's like, and it doesn't look very good. Okay, that's basically the bottom line. Ming-Na Wen as Fennec Shan, kind of like a very one-note character, as most female characters are now. Matt Berry is the voice of 8D8. That was quite good. I didn't realize until somebody told me. Jennifer Bills it was in as Garza Fwip, a Twi'lek who runs. Okay, in Mos Cantina. Fine, I didn't realize that was Jennifer Bills. And David, I don't know who David Pasquasi is. Do you have a picture over here? David Pasquasi is an American actor and comedian. He's credited and include Groundhog Day. I've seen that. Strangers with Candy. I've seen that. Kirby Enthusiasm. I've seen that. How do I not know who this is? Return to Me. Haven't seen that. The Ice Harvest. Haven't seen that. Veep. I've seen that. Oh, so this is Louis Dreyfus's ex-husband in Veep. Fine. Okay. Oh yes. Okay. So he is the assistant to the mayor, who is some kind of antagonist. Fine, let's read the synopsis. Boba Fett barely escapes the Sarlacc swallowed him. This is by far the best bit of the first episode, right? You're inside the Sarlacc pit, you're inside his belly, right? And you see how he escapes, and it works, right? For the first time ever, this really works. This was by far, again, the best bit of the whole first episode. So he breaks out of the Sarlacc pit, and then he has his armor stolen by Jawas who leave him for dead. He's then picked up by Tusken Raiders and just dragged around for a bit as their slave. You're not really sure what's going on, right? And you basically see his life as a slave to the Tusken Raiders, and so there's an AB. So in the story in the present day, which is 5 years later, he's remembering all this while he's in a Bacta tank, which is a medical thing. I guess you know what a Bacta tank is if you if you're watching this review. He's dreaming about all this in a Bacta tank. In the current day, he's trying to reestablish himself as a replacement for Jabba the Hutt or Bib Fortuna, as it were. The mayor is not that impressed. People come to give him tribute. The mayor's like, "Yeah, I'm not giving you anything, but you should give us tribute, right?" Honestly, seems like he should have just sent the head back to the mayor, on his own. That was the first episode, and it was mediocre, right? Mediocre. In terms of tying into Star Wars, it just did not feel like Star Wars. So the second episode I thought was much, much better. It was also directed by Robert Rodriguez, who's a great director. So the second episode felt was much more interesting because it became its own thing. It went off in its own direction, and I think it's much stronger for it, right? For me, if you're looking at it on its own merits, it's worth watching as a piece of Star Wars. Nah, completely. It's as missable as skippable as the rub down transfer Ewok village set from 1984. Right now, if you remember that, you're probably my age. So fine. So so then at the end there's a action scene where they're surrounded by assassins and they beat them off and they not that way and they capture one and they find out at the beginning the assassin is sent by the mayor. Now again, all the characters I found very meh. So Fett and Sand interrogate the captured assassin who claims to be hired by Mokshay, the mayor of Mos Espa. Shires denies this, but offers payment to Fett for capturing the assassin and suggests that he visit the sanctuary again. Okay, Whip informs Fett that two of Jabba's cousins, known as the pair of Hutt's twins, want to claim the throne themselves. So this I found actually quite interesting, right? Even though these Hutt twins look a bit prequely, right? Look a bit like they're not as bad as the special edition of New Hope, but they're a little bit prequely. The twins arrive with a Wookiee bounty, Black Krastan, and they try to intimidate Fett. Black Krastan is awesome, right? That is great. He was in the comics. And I'm glad, I guess he's in the extended universe. He's older now, he's got grayer bits in him. Love that. That was great. That was absolutely great. The twins arrive, but he refuses to submit. Back in the Bacta tank, he remembers... okay, fine. So this is the best bit of the episode. People have been slating it. They're calling it Dances with Panthers, which I think works. Right? Essentially, now he's been living with the Tusken Raiders for a while now. He becomes one of them, right? He becomes one of them. So you get this like little big man. If you haven't seen it, it's it's an absolutely great movie with Dustin Hoffman. But you get to see what the Tusken culture is, right? And you get to see how they're interacting with the normal Tatooineites, and the more advanced residents of Tatooine. This is great. This, I think, again, really, really worthy of your time. Really worthy of your time because it was. I found this. And by the way, one thing I do like about the Tusken Raiders is their dogs. Right? They got these great like lizardy dogs, and they act like dogs, right? And you see the Tusken Raiders children. Fine. So let's read the what's it called again? The synopsis. They'll probably tell me things that we should talk about. In the back, he remembers the Tuskens teaching their combat, their style of combat, and their desert survival skills. After the tribe was attacked by the Pike Syndicate spice train, Fett stole some speeders and from a nearby gang and taught the Tuskens how to ride them. Yeah, so basically, again, you imagine this as a Western, right? You have Indians living, in where is it? On the prairie, and a train comes through, and cowboys in it. The cowboys are the bad guys. They're shooting the Indians. He basically teaches them how to defend themselves at the same time of them teaching him how to become a Tusken. There's this great scene in it where essentially he does this kind of Tusken peyote, right? And he has this whole trip, and he goes into the desert. And he brings back a bit of a tree, and that tree is formed like his big stick, which the Tuskens like. By the way, little fun fact. You know that bit in Star Wars when the Tuskens are attacking Luke Skywalker and he lifts up his stick, goes, holds it up, and they actually did that once. They just cranked it backwards and forward 3 times. And it really worked, didn't it? It absolutely really worked. So they make the Pike out of it. They give him like the Tusken robes and everything. And he becomes a Tusken Raider. To admit in the Tusken tribe, Fett was guided by a lizard inside his head to a branch, which he turned into his own gaffi stick. The tribe then held a ceremony to accept him. So yeah, love that. And more of that. Really more of that. So if you imagine the Book of Boba Fett as a cool sci-fi Western, that's essentially where it is. And I have to tell you, for the character of Boba Fett, it's an interesting way of taking him, right? Like, what do you do with Boba Fett? Like, how do you make him like flesh him out? And I think the idea of taking this warrior and put him in with the Tusken Raiders, again doing a Dance with the Wolves sort of thing, is really successful. Is really successful. Again, if you want to boycott Disney, I hear it, baby. I completely hear it. I just watched it, and I figured I'll tell you about it. That's basically what it is. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.